Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another randomised gaming stream. I'm your host for this stream, as always, Random Gamer Riven. And in tonight's randomised gaming stream, we will be looking at Rolling Thunder 2 on the Sega MegaDrive. This is the second game in the series, as per the title, and there were actually 3 titles in the Rolling Thunder series. This one's actually a port of the 1990 arcade game. However, the Sega MegaDrive version does add in a number of additional stages. I think they removed one stage from the arcade version, but added in a number of others to replace it. So it's technically a bigger game. You also have to do a second loop in this version, but it's interesting to see graphically this is not quite as good as the arcade version, but they have adjusted the graphics very well to the Mega Drive. So let's just quickly show you the rather nice little band they're playing, which is quite a cool little sub feature you had with the little sound test. So this was published in 1991. The original arcade game was 1990, I believe. Developed by Namco and published by Namco. Well, I think Sega may have published it in Europe by the looks of things. I don't know if Namco had a European operation when this released. I think it was late 1991-92 in Europe. But yes, you play as Leela and Albatross in this one. Albatross is actually the character from the original game. And Leela was the girl. If you actually watched the original game, there was a girl tied up you're having to rescue who was being basically tortured by the main villain. And Leela's actually playable in this one after she was rescued. So I'm actually going to play as Leela for this run. I wonder if Sega recoded the game slightly. For the fact it's got their credit on it. Oh, it says Namco, so we got 1990, 91. So this one is 2 players as well. So there's Albatross and there's Leela. Let's play as Leela. You also have a number of nice introductions for each stage as well, which is quite a nice introduction with sort of... This is basically a sort of spy thriller. Albatross in this has a very James Bondy look as well. So we go to the start of the game, and it is very much against the clock. You can see already get a nice little truck coming in there. So this is effectively a running gun. You've got a high, low, jump, and basically you can go indoors to get loot and rewards. This Mega Drive version actually has 2 runs through the game. The second loop actually has slightly different in how it looks, which is quite nice. So they did really spend a lot of time clearly to get the Mega Drive version. I mean, it's not a huge game. A lot of these Mega Drive games aren't that big. You can finish in a couple of hours, but it's a superb runner gun. Let's see how far I go. I think this one's sort of... I don't know if the original Rolling Thunder was basically based on Shinobi. Hi, Nicodenar. I should say you just asked to be called Naiko, yes. Naiko, yes. Nicodenar. No, again, I'm just getting the pronunciations wrong, but yeah. Hi, I've not actually played Overblood, I will admit, on the PS1, so it's one of those many games I need to track down and play. I think Rolling Thunder is... Actually, this Mega Drive one has aged really, really well. There are 3 games in the series. So there's the original arcade game, which is probably the most iconic. I never saw Rolling Thunder 2, the arcade version, around much, I have to admit. Oh yeah, I should actually say I've got this on normal latency, so there is actually about a 30-second delay from when you guys comment. So if I basically chat back to you how long it takes me, because basically there's like a YouTube standard delay, so... I think got that weird bug where it keeps saying we're running out of... No one's watching, and then all of a sudden it jumps back up we had last night. So this really is just a really good looking sort of early... I mean, it's not sort of around the same time as Shining in the Darkness we looked at, but it's a very, very sort of impressive running gun. I think Overblood was a Resident Evil style game, because I remember one of the guys looking at the other day saying no one's actually played that in the team. We were like, yeah, we probably should. So I believe this next stage coming is one of the many new stages added. Weirdly, I do love those animations. So there is 3, yeah, they added in a password system for this version. There's actually 3 games in the series. The third game is a North American exclusive release, Rolling Thunder 3, and it's Sega Genesis only, so it's a... It's one of those awful horror games that's easy to recommend because it's bad but easy. I know the type of game that you mean. Is the story any good in Overblood, can I ask? Yes, number of enemies. They resemble terrorists encountered in our last confrontation with Gelder. So I said basically Leela was the girl captured by Gelder in the original game, but she's now playable. And there's only actually supposedly Rolling Thunder 3 takes place in parallel to this one. So, yeah, but it's a bit odd. It was a North American only release. It wasn't released in Japan, wasn't released in Europe, which is quite surprising. Unfortunately, I think the price of it's rapidly going up a bit. Okay, I should have been a bit quicker there. We'll see how far I get. I'll probably do about an hour in tonight's stream. Average, were you playing the NTSC or the PAL version? I don't know if you've seen Namco, but we've actually put up a... I finally put up my NTST summary on the blog of... forcing PAL games into 60Hz and my experience with Import Lite. So hopefully a few people will enjoy that. And I hope it'll help a few people solve a few issues with like the Matrix and a few other bits and bobs. So one of the cool things is there are certain areas you can actually hide in like that. You do have to keep moving. You are very pressed for time in this. That's one thing I will say. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. That's definitely one we should probably add at some point. Oh, shouldn't have taken that hit. Oh. Right, I can do better than that. Hi to Chicken Bones, thanks for joining the stream. Hope you're enjoying it. You're playing it on your PSP. I'm going to hazard to guess that might not be an official download, but I could be wrong. I don't think Overblood has been re-released on PSN unless it's in Japan. Well, usually most PSN games are available on Japan. I mean, that's but that is the thing. Once you modify a PSP, it literally becomes a portable PS1, which is a thing of real beauty. Yep, hope you're enjoying the stream, seeing as you suggested it, so... I will try and see how far I can get. It's not that hard a game, Rolling Thunder 2. You've got to do 2 playthroughs of it, which is quite nice. They certainly did a few tricks to try and expand the length of it, so let's see how far I can get. These cats are a bit of a pain. You can only shoot them when they actually... There are quite a few different weapons, and I need to be a bit short because I'm running low on ammo. I think coming up to the first boss, this whole stage is actually added in, so... Okay, got to do better. Don't want to run out of credits that quickly. I should say this is the PAL version of the game. It is Region 3, and I don't believe it's optimised in any way. Yeah, the PS3 is a bit weird with PS1 games because it runs them at a slightly funky resolution, isn't it? I love the sampling masters. I did the music for the arcade Mega Drive version. Yeah, the Mega Drive versions are quite heavily redone with lots of additional content, so I don't know how many of the arcade staff worked on it. There's also a Sega credit on it, so I don't know if Sega did some rework, because Sega did historically on the Mega Drive actually port quite a lot of games on behalf of other studios. Yeah, I definitely need to try. I mean, I was watching a bit of a playthrough, ironically, of Overblood the other week, so that did look quite interesting. So that guy there is probably the nastiest enemy in this game. You can't actually. You basically got to. So you literally got to just wait for the opportunity to. Yeah, I think the arcade only has 4 rounds, but I think they're divided into sub-scenes, whereas this has got 12 rounds, I think, the Mega Drive version. And then you have to play through it a second time. Strangely, Rolling Thunder 3 doesn't have a second playthrough, but it does have slightly better, quite a lot better graphics in this. I think there's more stages. There's a few stages where you're like on bikes as well in Rolling Thunder 3. Yeah, I have just done the Hertz list on a rough Hertz list on the PlayStation. So, are you playing the PAL version at 60 Hertz? Can I ask Nicodin or Nico? You enjoy it too much. 5 different playthroughs. Are there multiple endings, or is it just to see how different people tackle each problem in the game? Because I know it's interesting watching other people play because you can see different play styles of any game. I don't like. I must admit, I'm not someone who likes to rush games. I like to. It's the one by Game Informer. There's a. No, it's the US version. Cool. Okay, I can't go in that door. Oh, I can. Yeah, there's a slight odd with this version. You have to stand a little bit. You have to get sort of directly in the centre to walk through them. See how far I can get. I've actually gained an extra life as well due to my score, so gotta go this way, have I? You've got all types. You've only got scrolling in all directions. Oh, I want to avoid that guy. He is basically that heavily armoured dude's probably the biggest pain, and the grenade guys. This is very much a situational awareness game. Once you know where the enemy's positioned, you can anticipate for them. So your first playthrough is going to be your hardest, basically. React to its weirdest. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a few games where people play it and just like, what's going on here? Kind of a bit like if you purchase Destiny 2 in the next few weeks, because you'll be able to start a game and find half the game has been torn out. So yeah, I'm not very impressed with Bungie in Destiny 2, I have to admit. Seems like they're ripping out half the game. Okay, run out of ammo. Ooh. That was the end. So basically when you run out of ammo you can still shoot, but you can't shoot rapidly. Yeah, I think you're right in terms of the PSP forcing everything into... I think you're right, because an LCD it couldn't do 50 Hertz. So as always, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit that like button. Much appreciated all the likes already. And of course, if you're new to Randomised Gaming and like our content, please hit that subscribe button. I should actually get a playthrough of Sonic R, and I should get a Mega Drive playthrough up, I feel. Because this week, I think is actually like the first time we've looked at the Mega Drive with the open source scan converter. I don't think I've looked at the Mega Drive too much since we've got the open source. So apologies if you've been a Mega Drive fan on the channel wanting to see more Mega Drive games. There's a really weird mix in... You have that spy, but you also have that weird whole sort of weird, like, sci-fi villain look with a lot of the stages in Rolling Thunder. There is a slight thing where you can... I think you're invulnerable for a second when you're... But the music is absolutely superb in this Mega Drive 1. Oh. This is one of those Mega Drive games that I think quite surprised me. I mean, I picked it up. I think it's still relatively cheap to buy, but it's just very, very good. And it's one of those ones that arguably the home port is actually better than the arcade version. Yeah, I hate enemies like that. And you've basically got tiny jumps. Dodging the punches there. Oh. It's quite nice the fact you've got some animated, quite large objects moving in the background as well. It's actually for a 91, you've got some really impressive stuff going on here. Apologies guys, I'm probably not going to chat as much just because I need to keep attention to what I'm doing on this one. So I will have to wait till the end of stage break. I must admit, I've never really tried to finish the original Rolling Thunder that much. Oh. The original Rolling Thunder is one of those games I remember seeing in arcade when I was really young and just not playing it that much. It's one of those games that are all special. Ah, I've got a health pack. Hi Sega Santa, thanks. Yep, we've been the first time we've been streaming Saturn Mega Drive games this week on the Open Source Scanning Converter. So it's been a while since we actually covered Mega Drive stuff on the channel. I should do a playthrough as well, but I want to get a Sonic R playthrough done. And I've got another Blazing Tornado one I said I'd do as well. Yeah, the blue sort of guy rolls a real pain. You've got to really get those. Oh, another one. Okay, fortunately we have a continue system, so I'll just continue from where we left off. Password. Thunder smash the nucleus. And we continue where we left off. Yeah, that blue guy with the rolling grenade, you've got to really get in tight. You can't shoot in the air as well, so... Although there are, what I will say is there are a few 50Hz games on, because I know Cooler World is the PAL version on the PSP, but that might be running at 60Hz. If you can sort of dummy 50 into 60. But yeah, you're probably right, on the fly it would have to be... I need to do more PSP games as well, I have to admit, so... But yeah, I do hope you guys are enjoying this Mega Drive stream and video, so I've got quite a few people... Right, I'm really not liking that guy. I think this is one of those games you need to be on the ball and quick. If you let the enemies get control of the area, you put yourself at a disadvantage. Whereas if you move quickly into position, you can rapidly deal with everyone. So as you see there, like with the blue guy, if you're quick, you can actually have multiple health as well if you don't take damage. So I think we're going to get another blue guy. Yeah, there's a few of them that only run in 50Hz, but I'm sure they're probably dummying something at 60, like Cooler World is the... So yeah, Cooler World I've got on the PS3, and that's a 50Hz version. And I've got that on PSP as well, and that's still playing the 50Hz version, but I suspect it's probably dummying it into 60 somehow. Okay, cheers very much for all the likes, guys. We've got a lot of people liking the stream, which is really much appreciated. Let's see how far I can actually get on this. So I've got to be quick. Another. Oh, jump, jump. Don't worse than. I think, yeah, you've got a delay. When you shoot, you actually have a. You can't. There's definitely a slight sort of lag. Probably because the controls are quite rigid, and that's probably intentional, which is probably a good thing. It's got quite rigid controls. This is, I mean, ironically, we covered elevator action the other day, and this is probably the closest game to elevator action returns on the Mega Drive. It's also, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually slightly were inspired to do elevator action returns based on this one and Rolling Thunder 3, because they definitely have they definitely look a lot more like this. Run out of ammo again. Oh, there's some more ammo. So you can still shoot when you run out of ammo, but it just means your bullets are a lot slower and you basically can only shoot one bullet on screen at a time. And I should probably get in before I don't think... Can I go back and get... No, I can't. You do get special ones that give you health up as well, but you can't tell where they are necessarily. But you do get a lot of sprites on screen for a Mega Drive title as well. The only thing I say, some of the stages end a little abruptly. Okay, cheers. So they were forced into 60 Hz. So Curious programmed punched the powder. Some weird password codes in this as well. But yeah, I do hope you guys... I noticed we got a few of the guys from the elevator action stream on, so I take it it's a very similar game. Round 5. Trained on computers, sir. I'll teach them to play dead. That guy from elevator action, yeah. I think in this one she looks like she is infiltrating a secret base. So yeah, we had a bit of an in-joke with the fact the original elevator action looked like it was more a crime-filled neighbourhood you were going through. Oof, and that took me down a single hit, that shot. Fortunately, extra lives are aplenty, and the passcode system does mean you can literally carry on from where you left off. Oh, I should have ducked that. It's never good when you die the same point twice. That's a... Right, crouch. Oh, I can't even crouch. Okay, I'll take... Oh no, I've got to take the higher. I've got to jump them. Yep, the villains have won. They've blown up the world. Don't worry, I'm a curious program. Punch the powder. Yeah, it automatically remembers the passcode. Yeah, it is very much like what you'd expect spies. Actually, I'll swap to Albatross for a bit. Not that there's any difference between the player characters, and they both appear in all the cutscenes together. Let's play for this, just to show what Albatross looks like. He looks a bit different, because the original game, they looked more like they were a cult. But that guy's a real pain. There, got him, finally. And there isn't any difference between the two characters, I believe. At least I don't think there is. Maybe someone can correct me. And oh. It is sort of like spyish gibberish with the passcodes. Like, this is how we meet. Right. I definitely need that more powerful shot. Okay. Strangely, these guys remind me a bit of Bonanza Brothers with the fact that they're ducking in and out of everywhere, so... I'll just take the top route. Special. Oh, is that health up? Yes, so special obviously needs health up. Oh, nice powerful gun there. So it's worth anticipating. You do have to keep on the move. Oh, we've got the enemies being created in tanks there. Got him. Can I shoot that guy with... Yes, I can. So this gun does actually blow up the big nasty chap there. Oh. I think near the end of the stage as well. I think this is a bit where I've got lots of guys come down. This is basically a shotgun. This is definitely one of the best weapons in the game, actually. Is doing laundry. Yeah. Or like the bread man has come to collect the bin or something. Oh, I think gotta avoid that laser thing. Or the secret squirrel only comes out on Wednesday. I think if I stay low. So this is the equivalent of what I described as a boss fight. Okay, finally it looks like we're getting near the end of this. Just killed quite a lot of guys. Yep, he's down. A logical leopard blasted the secret, yeah. Yeah, a lot of those ones just have to sort of defeat all the enemies on screen. I must admit, I'd really like to play the third game, but we don't have a copy, unfortunately, so I can't officially stream it. And so I should say this is the PAL version, but it's playing on my Japanese NTSC MegaDrive. It's Region 3, the game. Well, at least the PAL version's Region 3 on a Japanese NTSC unit. You can get some slight qualms where they'll work on the Japanese and not the English one, and vice versa. So it's 60. There's effectively 3 region states. You have 60 Hz. Well, there's 4. There's basically there's the language settings, then there's the hertage settings for the Mega Drive. So there's a combination of 4 possible settings. But the music is this is a really good. It's really sort of chilled out music as well, so it's... Oh. I certainly won't finish both playthroughs, but if I do well, I might consider recording it properly and doing both playthroughs. I have finished this. I certainly haven't 1 credit cleared it as such, but it's easy enough to finish. It only takes a couple of hours. But the fact, for a Mega Drive game, it's quite... For a sort of early-ish Mega Drive game, it is quite meaty. Oh, those guys do a lot of damage. Yeah, it's weird. The Mega Drive, a lot of games, basically, there are 2 things that kind of do region protection. So, the first one is the BIOS screen, which basically does checks for unofficial cartridges, although... Many of them still got around it. I'll swap back to Leela. And then, of course, they could region protect the cartridge. They put a region thing into the cartridges. But we've got a game adapter here that literally bypasses every single game's protection screen. So, it's literally just called game adapter. It's got switches on the back, and literally, the only game I've had that won't run is. Which we covered in one of our gaming knowledge videos, is the Jimmy White game, which does a heritage check later. It doesn't do it like when the other games do it on the Sega logo. It does it at a later point to get around that. But yeah, it's a bit weird. A lot of games... So it tends to be only the mid-range games. A lot of the later games didn't have region protection back on. So you had a period where the mid games did, then the later games. So I had a brief go on Lost World today. A Nitro adapter. Yeah, I think the one we've got might be. It's either a Nitro adapter. It's called Game Adapter, but I think it might be. But it's got like little switches on the back. It's a really good one as well, because literally any game we've tested. I don't remember which one's shooting and which one's punch with those guys. And it's got a really good compatibility. It plays pretty much everything. I was having a quick look at Eternal Champions for the Fight Night, but I realised that's actually PAL optimised, so... Okay, the enemy's now doing a lot more damage with their shots, so... Got to be a bit more on the ball. By the way, can I ask, is this streaming at 1080p 60? I don't know if any of you guys... Because basically this is our first... so we've updated the Office connection today. And I'm hopeful this should be streaming at 1080p 60. Please let me know if it isn't. I'd very much appreciate it if someone could let me know if 1080p 60 is available tonight. It should be, but OBS was throwing some weird setup things when I was trying to configure it. It initially wanted to put in 720p at a stupidly low bitrate. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for confirming. And is it smooth for you guys? Is there any issues? Is it all nice and solid? Two cheekbones. Thanks, guys, for confirming. Very much appreciated. Okay, that's the best. Oh, here we go with the sort of... Well, they come out of the walls, which is quite nice visuals. Okay, that's good to know that's all working. Fantastic. So it should look better than slightly... I mean, the 720p 60 frame streams have been pretty good, but these ones should look slightly better now. So we should be streaming at 1080p 60 now for the foreseeable future. Okay, this is actually quite tricky. You could probably do it with a slide, actually. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure of the bitrate I chose would be the sort of right amount. I think I'm at 900 megabits, which I don't know whether may exceed YouTube's limit for 1080p. YouTube's playback rate for 1080p is a bit low, but for games like this, for the 4.3 are not hugely... Ooh. This bit's definitely got a bit trickier. Basically, games that don't use too much movement are going to look really nice. It's only when we get really fast games like the shooters I think will struggle a bit. Let's swap back to Albatross. Yeah, this is one of those many games that I probably get a long playthrough on the channel as well. Lots of games we should get long plays done on the channel. Apologies, I haven't done as many. I've been doing streams more at the minute purely because of the current world situation. I probably will dial back on the streams a little bit because it slightly hinders me to do long plays and some other stuff, but I'm finally getting through the jump. So today we've been, as you may have seen, we've put out a feature on PlayStation Hertz on the actual blog itself, which has been a little while in the write-up. Okay, done it. That's what I mean. A lot of these sections you need to pretty much know exactly where the enemies are coming spot on. So these guys are all coming here. I'm going to get them straight out. But yeah, some really nice effects with how you get like the enemies. Okay, where do I go from here again? Can I jump up? Because I've got to jump up on there. Ah. Yeah, these type of games are really fine. It's only really, I mean, one of the reasons we started doing 4K and 2K, well, it's 1440p videos is basically modern games. These just simply aren't good enough for, and even the 1080p bitrate games like Thunder Force 4, it's too low, so they do suffer a little bit. Oh, I took a hit there. Can you guys hear the game audio? Is it a bit quiet, or would you want me to pick it up a bit, or is it just right, can I ask? Because I want you to be able to hear the audio, but I also want you to be able to hear me speaking, but I don't want it so quiet that you can't hear the audio. I'm back here again. This is definitely one of the tougher stages. You've got to be really on the ball with this one. Okay, thanks for confirming, Namco. I've already got a crouch jump, which you probably should. Yeah, you could probably do with a roll in this, so. Yeah. There's a couple of stages in this I seem to recall. There's a few stages that are quite tricky, and a lot of other stages that once you know what to do are fairly straightforward, but it's just the ones that, like, that bit there, you've got to get spot on when you move and how you move. This is one of those classic sort of 16-bit games. As I mentioned with a few of the other games like Holy Diver that are very, very rigid, and if you follow the exact route every time, they're going to play identically, basically. Oh really? What game? Didn't get to keep the archive. What game was that? Can I ask? Because there are a few games we do need to be a little bit wary of. There are a few games where you can get. I generally, as a rule, we decide as a rule we will avoid anime games. So games based on anime, certainly with singing songs and whatnot, we've basically as a channel decided to avoid covering because the Japanese can be very particular over a lot of those games, and even the ones in the past like EX Troopers we've had content IDs on, but yeah, we certainly want to avoid copyright strikes, unfortunately. I know sometimes it can be a bit wary of what's being copyrighted by who because it's not explained. It's very, and arguably video games you have an argument that basically because the game doesn't play itself. Yeah, we're pretty. Salzano Aquari, yeah. So there's the enemy escaping in the submarine, which is quite a nice little graphic. There's some really impressive sprite work in this. Yeah, I think it's just the occasional singing games I'm very, very aware of. Music games that are using, so even Sam the Amigo 2000, I wouldn't cover that on the channel because it's got loads of covers. So we've covered it already, but we've only covered the Sega songs. Yeah, the Macross games are definitely a minefield. We have covered one of them. I would like to do a full playthrough on that, but I'd have to edit out all the songs. So there's any direct game audio with the Macross things. And some of the Gundam stuff as well, you have to be very, very careful of. And it's not always clear what's what, so you can inadvertently just get a copyright strike, so you have to be a bit careful. And arguably, it's fair use. If you're playing the game, it's fair use because the game doesn't play itself. It requires your input, so effectively it's almost like a performance. But so yes, the enemies escape to a base. This is actually quite a bit bigger than the arcade game, the Mega Drive port, but it needed to be. I think the arcade game is like a 20-minute run I saw. And no, I haven't actually finished the 2 Chicken Bones, and I've not done the original arcade game myself. I should do. I do actually have the PS1 version. And we've got it on a few collections as well. Oh, yeah, these guys are a real pain. The armadillos. Did you do the PS2 Macross you did, can I ask? Or one of the other ones? Oh, it was the PS2 Macross. Yeah, I'd like to do one myself, but I know there are a few games like that that are a bit dubious. Even the Saturn's Macross you have to be a bit careful of. Ironically, our Samurai Showdown stream so our Mega Man stream got hit by a slightly weird content ID I need to get removed, which is that content ID someone not doing their work properly, and our Samurai Showdown playthrough the other night got hit by quite a large content ID that turns out someone at SNK they obviously used to do the audio tracks. So obviously it looks like they used to sell some of the SNK music, and I hadn't, because I'd seen next to no one actually cover the Saturn's version, so I didn't realise, but never mind, it's only a content ID, so I'll just leave it up and they can monetize it. I checked it was a company linked to SNK, so... But you have to be very careful because you can get very iffy content IDs as well, and there's nothing worse than having someone claim the work of someone else and trying to make money off it. And I will argue, randomised gaming, we do like to provide archival of a lot of this stuff, because a lot of games I know myself just aren't well the archive. Oh, we've got to go through this way, haven't I? Because it's quite nice this stage. You've got 3 tiers on it with the background, foreground. PSP Frontiers, do you remember live? Yeah, I haven't played the PSP one. Is that quite good, or? Oh, that's helpful. That's health up, and I probably should get that arm upgrade as well. So yeah, you have to be a bit conscious in Rolling Thunder. You can't sit around too long. Time does. It's in Triangle Frontier. Okay, I'll definitely look at that, because I would like to look at the Macross games on PSP. I really enjoy the Ace games as well, which I've got the Ace on PSP that I really enjoyed. Probably would like to cover them, but again, they're probably going to be a bit of a nightmare. Same with the Super Robot Wars games as well, because they've got a mix of everything, which presents some issues. to nip up here and get some more. So you get special. I'm basically looking in the hope that one of these, yep, special, so that gives me a health up. Yeah, this is a game you have to finish twice, and the second time you do it, you effectively get a second loop. Some of the stages do change as well. Yeah. It's a bit like Phantasy Star Episode 2 on the PSP. There's 2 versions now, and it's really only worth getting the second release of the second game because it just has everything the first version of the second game had and more. So there are a few games like that that got those type of upgrades. This Mega Gen. I quite, in comparison, okay. I mean, I still quite like the Ace games. I do like them. I really enjoyed the PS2 ones. I'm interested. Do you, Naiko? Do you follow MegaDrive? Can I ask? Which is sort of a website for mecha content. Oh, I got me the grenade there. Some very craftily hidden characters as well in this. Okay, I need to be careful. I've only got 1 life left as well, and I've lost all my ammo, which is the downside. Got him. Oh! It's a really good site that sort of details all mecha of all things, but they do detail more than just the game side of it. But they do cover almost all the games, so sort of mecha-based games. I really enjoyed the PS3 version of Ace as well. I don't know if you played that. Oh, that wasn't a great run. I do like the rendition of the Sphinx in the background. We've got the Egyptian Sphinx. It's annoying, I've got to replay this stage, so... No, there's an Ace game on the PS3. Is it Ace Frontiers? What's it called again? Give me a second and I'll dig it up. There is a full-on Ace game on the PS3. Which I quite enjoyed as well. What was it called? Yeah, I really can't fault the music in this. The music really is fantastic stuff. Gives me a slight Sonic vibe, actually, the music. It does feel a bit like Sega may have done the music. Let me just see what was the Ace game on PS3 quickly. Okay, just remind me, I should actually play through this on PS3 as well. But it is another Century Episode R. That was the Ace game on PS3. I quite enjoyed that one. Isn't Macross 30? I'll have to look out for that myself as well. There's quite a lot of games on the PS3 because there's quite a lot of imports on the PS3 I need to really look at for covering on the channel, because the PS3's got a lot more import only titles that didn't get Western releases, unlike the Xbox. The Xbox 360 largely they've got the Japanese shooters mainly, and there's an excellent tactical game which is like vampires and werewolves set in like World War II, also with sort of that type of look, which everyone said's really good, but that only got a Japanese and North American release. And there's a few other RPG games. But an action RPG, ooh. I'll definitely look at that Macross 30 then, because there are a few. I've got Kitsu on the PS3 as well, the cave game, although that's now been surpassed by the recent PS4 version, which is fantastic. Finally got 4 health now. So this is actually one of those games, once you start getting to know once you know the layout of the stage, you can progress through it very quickly without taking any damage. Oh. I had 4 health and now I'm back down to 2. I do love the animation in this. It does, again, I definitely think Elevator Action Returns may have been loosely inspired a bit on the look of this one. Right, it was about here we got to before, wasn't it? When we started getting the guys in the pot. So yeah, I did this guy. Must have been a while since I sat down and played a really good action RPG. There's not enough of them these days. In fact, I think RPGs as a whole have really suffered this generation. Okay, I've got here again, so I really don't want to come a cropper at this bit again. Ow! Okay, you have just successfully managed to sell me Macross 30. I will definitely pick that up then. Yeah, that sounds pretty good actually, an action RPG. Okay, apologies guys, you're having to see this level again for the 3rd time. This is definitely one of the slightly trickier stages. What I want to do is try and get this guy to summon over this side, so jump up here, go up here, go up there, shoot this guy, come down, shoot him. Yeah, I know. It's a bit like the Ludo game. That really required some quality time to get to understanding. So that there are a lot of... I played through quite a few Japanese games. Because a lot of them are actually quite... Even if they're quite heavy Japanese text, it's just a case of getting your head round how the system works. But to be honest, these days, getting your head round the systems for Destiny and Warframe took me ages. Because there's so much stuff going on in them. Although... The Destiny 2 is now stripping half the game out, which is unimpressive. But Warframe has some very badly done systems. Some great systems, but the way they're explained to the user is just non-existent. Which is the worst possible type of games design. Just 101 games design. I have a name for what I regard as good sort of tutorialing, in that which is basically if you have your marketing staff need to understand it, because often they're not gamers as such. So, but some games and tech stuff, often they put it at such a high level, so few people will be able to understand it. It's just not going to work well. So, jump up, Leela. There's just like weirdness where if you go up here, you'll go into the thing. I probably should have gone through there. But yeah, a few annoying quirks like that where you're trying to jump up. Okay, plan B, we'll go this way this time. Oh, he's taking me out for a single shot. Didn't even see the bullet there. Okay, gotta be quick. Right, don't want to be doing this stage again. Well, at least I'm showing my progression. So you basically, like any game, you always have progression where you'll just get better at it as you play and get familiar with the enemies. It's one of the things I hate about, in some ways, some of the long play channels. You end up, they don't say they've edited footage, so you'll see this like flawless run, and I hate it when people have totally flawless runs and say, "Oh yeah, this is practice." So unless you're like speed running the game, or you've basically spent your time practicing on it, you don't get flawless runs. But it's irritating that quite a lot of people now expect flawless runs whenever they watch a footage of the game. It's like, well, actually, flawless runs isn't really natural indication of gameplay footage. That's those two down. Right. So this guy in the box is the problem. Gotcha! Finally. Okay, are we going to get another one of these guys? Oh! Carefully biting my tongue there. We're at the hour and 4 minute mark, so cheers for all the likes, guys, much appreciated. We've got quite a lot of people enjoying the stream tonight. Yeah, it's a big problem with a lot of the live service games actually now, where games are poorly explained. Something like this, Rolling Thunder, the controls are very, very simple, and a lot of these games, the explanation was actually in the sort of 20-odd page manual you'd get. But a lot of games now, they don't have manuals and they don't properly explain half the mechanics, which is very off-putting. Warframe was terrible at explaining a lot of the mechanics. You're just left baffled half the time. And often if you ask other players to explain it to you, they won't explain it particularly very well. So it's just a case of really having to spend ages playing the game till you finally pick it all out. I mean, Warflame's got some weird things like there's a daily login bonus where the first time you play any mission, you get double bonus credits. Nowhere in the game are you explained that. The only exception being if you do the double bonus mission on a thing called the Index, which is like a credit gambling thing where basically you bet credits to earn. And basically if you win the fight you get loads of credits, but if you don't win the fight you lose your stake in it. And it's stuff like that. But again, that's not explained. But if you still do it, you still lose your login bonus in the Index. So there's weird things like that, and it's there's lots of other mechanics in Warframe that I'm just like, you need to explain this to the player. Yeah, when you... So, it's interesting when you say about... Because some long play channels, I know, use save state, so literally you get a flawless play. Whereas if you're editing out stuff, you can at least show sort of where things have been edited, which is generally a lot better. The World of Long Plays, I know a couple of the guys from that as well, they use purely save states, and I've seen some weird stuff because they're using save state whizzes, which, I mean, yeah... It's nice that they're doing long playthroughs and long plays of a lot of games. It's really nice to see them, but it does annoy me when people think that you can do like perfect plays, and some of them are literally using save plates and rewind features, which are kind of against the spirit of the game. But yeah, even if I was doing a long play of this, I would keep deaths in, but only remove sequential deaths. So if I did a long play of something like this right now, I would take out, basically I'd have the death and then the successful run. So if you got, let's say you got to a checkpoint, I'd have the bit before the checkpoint where you get through, but I certainly wouldn't have the, like, if there was a death between at the same checkpoint you started back, that I would cut out. Alright, let's see. I'm not doing well this run. And I know I've edited a few of ours as well to take out bits. But I do think some people have got the unrealistic expectation that every game should be a perfectly flawless run now, which is irritating. As I'm showing now, I'm learning the ropes because I think it's been good 5 or 6 years since I played through this on the Mega Drive. Maybe even longer actually, Rolling Thunder 2. I might have even played it on the Mega Drive, on the PAL Mega Drive. But this is a case of you need to learn all your enemy positions, so... Yeah, I must admit, I absolutely totally respect people who do original hardware stuff, because it means you're playing it the way the developer... You get the proper... Because that way it's a proper long play, so kudos for... I would say kudos for doing it on original hardware like ourselves. It's the only time I accept emulation is if the game is either incredibly rare or it's like only prototype or something. I think a lot of games, it's not that hard to actually pick them up relatively cheaply and get the hardware these days to actually video them. So, and recording them on the natural hardware means you have the proper audio and gameplay, and the videos just look so much better on original hardware because the emulators still aren't there yet. Okay, that's one down, right, so I've got this guy coming up. Okay, got him. Yes. Plus, there's quite an effort to actually get it on original hardware because, I mean, this is not. I mean, okay. Admittedly, the cost of some games is spiraling out of control now. I think. But it's just a much better quality when you do it. Not to use. Yeah, no, I'm the same here. I mean, we've invested an awful lot with the open source scan converter and stuff. And even just actually picking up the original games. I mean, we're lucky we've got quite a few guys over the course of the years who collected from their original console releases. So a lot of the more expensive games we have got we picked them up when they were released and were much cheaper, whereas these... But yeah, it's just the quality I'm finding when we're doing original videos. In fact, what surprises me, we've had quite a lot of people say, oh, your videos are emulated. Like, no, they're not. This is what happens when you have a good setup with open source scan converters and original hardware and RGB SCART, how good consoles can look. And I think it's beginning to pay it back, because you're watching Rolling Thunder 2, the PAL version played on Japanese Mega Drive, and there's just a slight better quality. I mean, you'll hear it in the sound as well. Yeah, I know there are a few original games I appreciate that are just insane now. I mean, stuff like Panzer Dragoon Saga and Mega Man: The Wily War. The other day we covered. The Japanese version is still about 100, but the PAL version is ridiculous. Yeah, there are some games that are ridiculously expensive, and some games I feel people are artificially pushing up the price now, so I really don't like that some games are just having the price pushed up artificially. I do like the music for this stage. Yeah, I actually think picking up the special weapon on that stage might not be... I mean, some of the Saturn games are getting very unreasonable, and I mean, you've got to be very, have lots of spare cash to be able to afford Neo Geo games these days. The price of them has gone ridiculous. Like, it's such a stumbling block. I think some consoles are going to eventually just fall out of favour. Yeah, there's a few actual long plays. I've got a few sort of bugs or things that are slightly annoying me, getting unexpected deaths. I'm like, yeah, I'd quite like to redo them. I have actually got a Super Mario Land game long play I need to get out, and a few. I got the F-Zero one for one of the ranks that I haven't got around to getting out yet. Oh, really? Thanks for that. So this was the Arcade Stage 3 music. It's really good, this one. I think, obviously, they've mixed it quite a bit around with how the game plays, so... Skip the intros, we only need to see that the once. I'm actually going to ignore that weapon, because that weapon's actually quite a hindrance. I was playing the Mega Man collection, and that's got a rewind function, and I hate that feature. I really do. Same with Rare Replay. It just doesn't feel, for me, it just feels like just spectacular cheating. And I know some of the emulators had that feature as well, and I'm just like, no, I hate this feature. It just takes all the challenge and enjoy. Gotta be careful here as I don't have that. Yeah, this music's really good though, so... Oh, so close yet so far. I haven't played the PS2 version of Panzer Dragoon. I really, really want to, so that's one of them. So, Panzer Dragoon PS2 I really want to play, so... But you don't think it's that great, do you? I thought it was just a straight port of the Saturn's one, or did they make some changes? I really would love to play that version though. I picked up the crappy weapon again. Rolling Thunder 3 I really like to spend some time with a proper copy, but it's rather tricky to get in Europe as it was never released over here. I'm just going to avoid this guy. No, I'm not going to be able to. Yeah, because everyone said to me the remake of the PS2 version was quite good, so I was under the impression it's much better than the remake, which I think is getting rather derided at the minute. I know, having played the remake myself, it was rather heartbreaking. Right, yeah, the music for this stage is really good. Knights is alright, although the PS2 version of Knights is the same one that later got released on 360 and PS3, so literally that is just a straight port of it, so I imagine any of the issues in that... So I imagine the issues in that were sort of covered over in the... Oh, he didn't... I thought he was going to take me out of a single hit. Certainly makes for interesting stages having to... Okay, so I think I can... Oh no, I'm going to have to take this guy out. I waited too long, so this other guy came along and... Oh, yeah, I know they made a few tweaks with the PS. So you think the PS2 version was better in terms of? Although I must admit, I still don't rate the 360 version. It wasn't bad. I just felt it didn't feel quite as tight as it could have done. That's quite fun. We're both sitting in the cave together, like, "Hey, bud, yeah, you." I need to be quick at that bit. Oh. Okay, maybe I'll try the PS2 version of Knights at some point then, although not really incentivized that much. I still prefer the Saturn's one with the 3D controller. I still think that's probably the best version for me. I seem to recall this stage has a robot sort of weird gun turret boss at the end thing. Yeah, see, I quite like the charm of the Saturn's graphics still, so I think there's just something about it. I think the PS2 version slightly missed. I mean, oh, I've got the weapon again. This is going to be another rubbish. Die very quickly. Yep. Yeah, I mean, so far all the Saturn versions, the only version of Knights that probably isn't very good is the Wii version, which was a bit of a convoluted mess, unfortunately. Although that apparently was a bit of a mess because they changed hardware right at the last minute. It was supposed to be a 360 and PS3 game, and they changed it to the Wii, which was a huge tactical error on Sega's. Because they developed, because if you develop for one format and then have to downgrade it, that's never going to be good. It's slightly annoying you can't shoot and jump in this. Oh, I needed to go in there. Okay, this stage is tricky. Let's see how far I can get. I'm going to probably wrap up the stream, guys. I'm glad you guys are all enjoying it. That much appreciated for the likes as well. We're on this round 6. No, round 8, in fact. There are 12 rounds, so there's 4 rounds left. But I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight. I actually have to play some... I have some Sega Saturn RAM cartridges games that I've never played before that I need to get around to playing. Or more specifically, the RAM cartridge games no one knows about and is unlikely ever to buy because they're not 2D fighters or scrolling up or Dungeons and Dragons style action RPGs. Well, scrolling beat-em-ups. There's a better way to do that bit. Those guys take 4 shots. Okay. Right, got him. Although I'm running low on bullets. No, not the Ultraman. That's a ROM cartridge. So, there's 4 slightly obscure titles. Put it this way, the only reason I picked them up is to actually see what they're like with the RAM cartridge, so that way we actually have a full set here and maybe I'll actually cover them. But what I think one is an arcade port based on an STV arcade port based on a Mahjong game. The other 3 are all dating sims, I believe, or visual novels. Oh, this bit. I was right at the boss as well. I didn't realise I was there. Okay, I've got to be quick. Cotton, nope, not shooters. I wish they were shooters. I wish they were shooters. They're literally they're just next to no one covers them, and it's one of those games you wouldn't think supports. Oh. Come on, jump! Right, this is the boss. Oh. Yeah, I think it's higher resolution visuals. So the offenders are, and this is, I'll just quickly grab them all so you know what I'm going to treat myself to. I also mean I should actually finish Shining in the Darkness as well, because although I played that last night, it's one of those games yeah, so the offenders are... And this is what I'm in for, a real treat tonight, guys, so you can listen to this. One is called Friends. It's like Shuki no Yuki. It was released in 1999, so it's actually a really late Sega Saturn game. One is Welcome to Pie Carrots 2. I'll just pause that a sec so the timer doesn't tick down. One is Knoll 3, not digital. That one looks like it's an interesting hack mini game. And finally, the last one is Super Real Mahjong P7, which I know was an arcade game. So yes, those games, they all support the 4MB and the 1MB. In fact, they're quite late games. They're all 98, I think. 98 for Real Mahjong, and it's a 97 arcade game. At least it says on the copyright. 91 is... Knoll is actually by Pioneer of all companies, and that's 1998. And the other two are Nectec, Super Welcome to Pie Carrot, and they all support the 4MB and the 1MB supposedly. I assume they're all best with the 4MB. I think they're like Astral Superstars, higher resolution graphics and better loading times. yeah, Mahjong is too extreme for... Yeah, I know, it's absurd. It is an arcade game. I can only assume they either want to use high resolution visuals. I mean, I can understand if it's using the MPEG card, because... this stage is infuriating. I remember getting to it before. Should have been a bit better at the boss, actually. I'm pretty sure that weapon... It's handy if you get to the boss with it, but... not so handy if you don't, but yeah. Mahjong is too taxing. It needs a... Then all of them work without the RAM cartridges, though. So they all work with the 4MB, the 1MB, and they run without RAM. So they're like those type of inclusion games that are a bit like Pocket Fighter ran with everything, without anything. There are a couple of games that did that, so... Oh, I didn't get in there in time. I'm down to my last life, so I need to... That bit with the grenade guy is really aggravating me. Okay, so I've got to the bit with the grenade guy. I want to beat all his... I've got to beat all these other guys as well, so there's no one else running around. The enemies are all prefix spawning in case you haven't figured this out, so... But I want to spawn... Philips CDI, yeah, I've never actually I've played one, but I've never owned one. So there's one of those curiosities. They are quite troublesome, I think, now with like the hardware stuff. Oh. That guy is a real pain to get past. He's tactically positioned. That's the sort of Mega Man positioning, that guy. Okay, I've got this stage down now, except for that one guy is really, really... But yeah, Mahjong is super taxing for Sega Saturn and needs the... Well, it's not required to use the RAM, but yeah, I assume it makes it a bit shinier. We've got to see how it compares to the arcade version. It might just be that it makes it arcade perfect. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to playing any of those, so... I think visually this is a really, really impressive Mega Drive game, I will admit. It's one of those Mega Drive games that... that I think it's well worth picking up because it's still relatively cheap and it's I mean, it's not the longest game. I think there's most Mega Drive games weren't that long, but it's just so like elevator action. It's beautifully crafted. Ah, rage! I should have run for the thing a bit closer. The movement is very rigid in this. That's the one downside. Ah, but I'm at the cross point. Pause that a second. Yeah, I've seen that process. One of the batteries. Does that mean you... Does it... If that battery dies, does that mean you can't... I have seen that battery. You literally... I've seen the video where the guy has to do the repair and literally drills it out of the chip. That's really nerve-wracking stuff. So good luck with that repair. Because that looks really tricky. Is that something to do with the RAM? Is that basically if it doesn't... If it's got that chip's dead, it can't start or something? And I've seen that. I've seen people show the repair they had to do to get that running. So I'm going to see if I can cheese these guys out of here without cheesing the grenade guy. So the grenade guys. Right, let's just go, 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 go. Yes! There's some rage inside of me at the minute. That last death was like... Urgh. Well, there are a few, this game can be quite infuriating, especially as I nearly beat the boss. It's not that hard a boss, you just got to keep moving at it. But yeah, that battery thing. I mean, I literally saw a guy do the repair and he literally like sliced the chip in half because there's like a battery inside of it, isn't it? It's really a weird chip. So I know that requires... you've got to have nerves of steel to get that repair done right, so... Have they released a replacement version of that chip so you can just unsolder it, or... Is it still the only way to slice into the chip and actually get it so you can get the battery out? Okay, I'm literally out. At this point, this was the grenade guy, wasn't it? Okay. I'm a bit stuck now. I've only got the slow bullets. It allows you to swap it out. Yeah, I've seen it. Once you've basically made it available, it can then be swapped out. Okay, so I've got to jump at these guys. So that... It's all about the timing. So basically when you're out of ammo you can still shoot, but you can only shoot one bullet at a time and it goes very slow and sluggishly. Right, so that should be a full top up, and it's now time to tackle... So I've got my favourite grenade guy is about to come along in a sec. Okay, there we go, standing still. Yes, got him, right. Oh, I don't believe that. Jump! 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 I was holding up and jump. I think there's definitely a slight lag in this game. It's either the boss is not that hard, you've just literally got to jump! Again, Albatross. I think basically you've got to hold up and jump. I think pressing up and jump at the same time doesn't. Right, I can do this. I can do this. I want to at least show the end of this stage at the stream. This stage is becoming my Achilles heel. I think I remember this one being quite hard originally, but once you got round the second time, I remember beating it really quickly. Okay, so these guys, right? It's a case of just literally walking into the guy. So here we go. Now I can't shoot anything. Game Raging Thunder. Yeah. Right, I'm going to beat it this time. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a proper crack. I remember there were a few stages in this that are quite tricky, but once you get down the routine, it's fairly straightforward. So I know what I need to do now to get through this stage without taking damage and the exact route. In fact, I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to get through the stage without taking damage. Just to prove that I have actually been paying attention and have learnt the spawn rate of the enemies. So this is how you do a perfect long play, so to speak, when you've spent like a week practicing the game, doing it properly on hardware. It's just that a lot of the stuff I just don't have the time to spend the time practicing on games to do perfectly flawless long plays. I'd love to be able to do them, but they just take too much practice time. One of the few ones I did do was the Mighty 9 one. And that was because I had literally played through it myself, because I quite enjoyed Mighty 9. I think Mighty 9 got a bit of an unfair rap. It's not as Mega Man. It's actually better than it's a much better game than Mega Man 11. That I will say. Okay, so there's that one down. Right, I've got no bullets at the minute. That's not too bad. I think as soon as the bullet's off screen, you can shoot again. But one hit bosses are the bane of. They are. I think they're just designed to. I'm not sure if this boss is. Some of the bosses are added in for the Mega Drive version, so a lot of the bosses were added in. And that's how you do it. Or at least that's how you get through the stage without dying. Yeah, so I have learned. It proves that you can, once you learn the scene, it's just that boss is a little bit irritating. I should walk off the edge, shouldn't I? So, and jump up. That's what I'm doing wrong. Should walk off the edge like I did the first time. And that time he spawned early. So I couldn't get to him to knock him down. It's a little bit random, I think. Yeah, I think Raging Thunder definitely shams it up. I'm looking at the control now, like thinking, ugh. I'll give it another shot before I admit defeat for tonight's stream. I want to try and get through this one. I won't finish it. I remember the Egyptian stage coming up was probably one of the hardest in the game, so... Now that was totally random. That time he decided to throw a punch at me instead of throw the grenade. The AI is a little bit... Oh, this is infuriating. So I got two bits blown off. It's just getting that... Those last two, it's very much random luck, I feel a bit. I should know the pattern because I remember should really work out the pattern because I think it's patternized. No, I think by going, yeah, if you go up the top the second time, that guy definitely comes down. And this guy will come along. Right. Let his grenade explode down there. Yeah, so his grenade takes ages to explode. Okay, apologies. This boss is really infuriating now. And I have beaten it many times before in the past. I had a technique down for it and I can't remember quite what it was. Right, I'm going to give this one proper last shot and then I think I might call it a night because that'll be 2 hours. I don't really want it to beat me, but it does happen. Well, I feel I should do like a full-on long play at some point of both runs of this. I remember once you get the boss down, it's quite easy to do, but it's just getting it down. It's that irritating the way the shot moves around. There's actually a shortcut there. If you die there, it does skip you ahead a little bit. So if I was speedrunning this, I might be tempted to inclined to deliberately die there. I've got 91 bullets. Ah, so basically, yeah. That guy comes along. This guy and his buddy. Come on. Yep, so the end of that one. Yes! Yes, finally did it. Thank you guys, much appreciated. That was so once, yeah, I basically should have done that before. I should have just jumped from the top and down, and it's not that hard to do. It's just getting that pattern down. It noticed on the left, when I was trying it on the left side, it definitely attacks a lot earlier than it moves up, and it seems to stay on the left side a lot more than it stays on the right side. And that's a classic fall off the platform 101 death, but not how you should be doing that. These bats are irritating, I remember, because they come at different heights and you can't jump and shoot. But the not being able to jump and shoot in this is really irritating. And they're positioned away. Come on, you're just literally waiting for them to try and dive bomb you. So this stage I remember being one of my most, I think this stage I disliked more than the previous stage. Oh. Right, I'll give it 10 more minutes. I'll finish at the 2-hour mark on the stream. But I hope you guys have been enjoying that. Apologies it took so long to clear that last stage. It took me longer than I'd liked. Yeah, these last couple of stages, they really rapidly take up the difficulty a bit. They're not, I wouldn't necessarily they're that hard, but it's a case of this type of games using trial and error deaths, where basically you have to remember everything that goes on in order to survive, which is a tactic a lot of these old games used, infuriating as it is. So I probably should take things a bit slower than what I am doing. Just so, just. That goes in the weird, so if I go this way, he's going to. So they do seem to dive down at a certain point as well. So you've got to know when that bat dives. Oh, and they sort of respawn as well by the looks of it, just to make things a bit more nastier. Yeah, this stage is definitely like the. How can we make this section as obnoxious as possible? To make sure the player dies and has to keep playing it for like an hour, so at least they don't finish the game on their first playthrough. Onto diver. I've got to remember where they dive. Shoot that one. A lot of these ones, if I actually stay at the back, I don't think they're just take it nice and slow. Yeah. So lots of those early ones will dive in. Just think this one will dive. This one will dive. It's going to fly over. And that guy's tactically positioned in such a way, so okay, right. Nice and slow. Literally, this is one of those stages you've got to take it. Although you do have to be a bit present. I don't think it's too long because of the timer, but you do have to take it with. You can't be too. You basically have to balance between the time you're taking. So that one's going to dive. This one's going to dive as well. Okay, I've got that one out of the way. Yeah, grenade guy in the most. Come on, one of these bats is going to dive. You're going to dive as well. Oops, special. Yeah, this is the parts where I do have to concentrate, so I can't really chat too much. So I'm going to get taken out. Oh yeah, this is going to the Mega Man. We'll throw them at those points. Oh, so I'm going to try. Just. Come on, where's the next one coming? Special, so at least I'm getting health back from these bullets. I've got 1 minute. Or 2 minutes, in fact, basically 2 minutes. Get that guy, get rid of that guy as quickly as possible. Really got to pay attention on this stage. On that stage. One life again. Oh, I'm back to this bit. I was hoping I was past all the back bits. these moving platform ones are a bit random when they're going to swoop, so you can probably get into a point where you're going to take a hit from them. Right. So that's, I think, was it the third guy I had? You had to, was it the second? You've got to jump him early, else he's going to... So this one's okay. But this next one... Yeah, so that one's, again, is not too bad. This one coming up, I need to get low, and I need to get low quickly, else he's going to... Like that. Again, get low and get low quickly. Okay, Shadow Ninja guys aren't helping. Oh, I'm just lucky I had extra hits there. Just keep pinning these guys so that they can't attack you. I don't want that guy to shoot because he double shotted before. They normally come in pairs as well. Come on, shoot. Probably at the top. 58 bullets. Come on, this stage has got to end. Come on, I'm running low on time. Oh. Another grenade guy. Oh god, I've got 17 bullets left. Guys everywhere. 4. Yes, yes. A digital nucleus punched the device. Whew. That's a tricky stage. So that's... The other stage was annoying with the boss, but once you know it, it's quite easy. That's much more... You've really got to get lucky. Right, there's 2 stages left. I'm going to see how far I can get in the next 10 minutes. If I can get to the last stage, I might try and finish. There's 2 runs on this. You have to beat the game twice, so... Whew. I've got some more great music. Yeah, I can jump up and down now. Once you... Because that previous stage, you don't have the ability to maneuver around, so you lose... So a lot of your defense in this comes from being able to move up and down. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining the stream again, Nico. Great to see you. Good night. Have a good night where you are. You're in Poland, weren't you? So yeah, have a good night in Poland. I know you're an hour or 2 ahead of us, aren't you, in the time zone? You might be 3 or 4 actually, so it's probably quite late there. I know it's 11:30 here, but thanks for joining the stream. And we'll hope to see you again soon. I think this stage got a nice sort of lift section. Yeah, probably got to the lower bit of the lift. And the world's blown up again. Yep, I would be a terrible secret agent based on how many times you've seen that game over screen. Although 2 hours and near the end of the game, having not played it in a few years, isn't a bad run. Definitely reckon I could clear this in could do it. I think there are a couple of, yeah, so you've got to be quick with some of these bonus ones. You literally got to get in, nip it. Raging for, yeah, that the previous two stages. This one's not too bad actually. This one's much more fairer stage. The previous two stages are definitely probably the two most aggravating ones I seem to remember. Let's see, can I finish this in the stream? Well, at least get the first loop. The true ending you don't get till you beat the second loop. The second loop's quite nice actually because it does change the background. So let's see if I can get to the second loop before we finish. So yeah, being quick on this stage is quite handy because you can knock the guys out. Okay, I've got my health back, although a lot of these enemies can kill me with one hit now, which is irritating. It's a bit pointless if you have a health bar when they can one-shot you. In fact, most of the enemies have been able to one-shot me now since about stage 6 or something, I think. That might have been a big mistake, and that was. Oh, I should have got that. I've got no ammo. I'm real stuck now. No, 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 no. Darn. Okay, let's try this one last time. So there's quite a lot of secret special doors in this stage, so you do get a lot of health in this one. But it's knowing where they spawn. And on the elevators, you can't just you don't have enough time to sort of nip into everyone going. Well, I suppose Namco, they had to make it hard because they had to at least make it a bit challenging so that way you wouldn't finish it in 10 minutes. And I think this is probably, I think it took me 6 or 7 hours originally to beat it. So I think it's a reasonable length for a Mega Drive game. It's not something you're just going to finish on your first 10-minute go, but it's not the hardest game. It's not you would have it done and dusted in a day, even doing the extra sections. And he got me there. Those guys are really especially the grey suited ones. You need to be. clear. Glad to hear the 1080p 60 frame streams going well, guys. I was a little bit concerned we might have slightly... One of these was a special. So if I can get through on this life, I will see if I can make... I need to get the ammo. I need to get the ammo on this. Stay low as well. Yeah, wait, that way you get the grenade guys as soon as they spawn. Special. We'll go in there. You know, it's not going to be a special, but why not? Strange, sometimes they take one hit, sometimes they take two. I assume it's a weapon upgrade or something. Oh, he's got a grenade. Maybe it's where you shoot them? Certainly these later stages, it's a good idea to make sure you don't overshoot, so you want to conserve the ammo as much as possible to make sure that every shot counts basically against the enemies. Oh, I didn't want to take that shot, that was a silly hit. Should go up high because I want a special, but the special's going to be a bit... Oh, okay, I seem to recall there was some horrible jumping section in one of these stages. I've got 43 bullets. .4 seconds coming. Where's the end of the stage? Not got much time left. 24 bullets. Ah! I think I was right at the end of the stage as well. Okay, everyone, very much appreciated for tonight's stream. That has been very good fun. Thanks to Two Chicken Bone for suggesting that. I probably I'll give it one last shot. Actually, one last shot. It's one of those games that's such good fun that it's just one of those games you think, yeah, I'll give it another shot. I'll give it another try. The balancing is just about right. You do feel like you're progressing in it, and it's. Well, it should be a bit... Oh. You've thrown the grenades. Okay, that's not a good start. Okay, it's not really a special round this part, is there? Oh, let's just go for the... Guessing by the number of people who actually like this stream, they'd probably like to see a full long play of it. Okay, I will probably consider doing a long play at some point. I'm just gonna I'll give it. It's not been a good run. I'll try it. I'll let him bump me off so I've got full lives. Yes, world's blown up. We know. Nucleus. Hi DB Polarman. Thanks for joining the stream. Which version is the best? I don't really know, to be honest. This is the PAL version running at 60 Hz, so I don't believe there was any censorship or anything. I think it's literally the same game. There were a few Mega Drive games that were literally a universal cartridge, so unlike the SNES, you literally got the same. Everyone got the same game. In fact, some were actually the same SKU released worldwide. So this is the PAL version at 60 Hz. I've never actually played any of the other versions of Rolling Thunder 2, so I can't say. I think they're probably the same. I think they're the same. If they are, then go for an English one. But yeah, this is the PAL version at 60, so it plays perfectly fine. In fact, I'm playing this on my Japanese Mega Drive, and you don't need any region adapter as well. It's actually a region-free cartridge. Do some health, but running low on ammo. Okay. That's a grenade guy. The green guy is the grenade ones, who can be the troublesome ones. Oh, you can actually dodge them. Right, I need to get some bullets there. I need to get onto that before it's too late. Ooh, just. Oh. Yeah, my Mega Drive knowledge is not as in-depth as my Saturn knowledge, so... I think that door there was the up special one. See if I can get that one, which gave an extra hit. The Raging Inferno. This last stage, one last shot, and then I'm going to wrap. If I get to the next stage, I'll carry on for a bit longer. But if I don't, I'll wrap this up because I have some terrible Mahjong games. But thanks for all the likes so far on the stream. Very much appreciate it. As always, if you're new to Randomised Gaming and you like our content, please do consider subscribing. I didn't think I'd get quite as far as this in Rolling Thunder. Because arguably I should have finished it by now, but the 8th round proved rather tricky. That boss was somewhat annoying. Well, we finally got past him. Thanks, that's okay. Glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, A good site to check out for the Mega Drive, in fact any Saturn stuff, is Sega Retro. That's a fantastic site for information on Sega games. Sadly, Mega Drive is not necessarily my forte, as I wasn't a Mega Drive owner during its original lifespan. I was a late life afterwards, so I mean, I do love some of the Mega Drive games these days, but I wasn't originally an owner when it originally came out during the 90s. I was a SNES owner, but then we went to Saturn, so yeah, this is one of those games just as there's one or two tricky bits that you've just got to master. I'm feeling like I should actually get to grips with everything and then actually do a full long play stream, including the second, because this game actually has, you have to finish the game twice on the Mega Drive version, and you get a second run, which actually has some alternative visuals changes, which is quite nice. So it's quite nice to see how the second run looks compared to the first run. So double shot guys that come out, and you have to basically be forward. Right, let's get rid of those guys. I think I actually had more health at that point than I did before. I'll just check there's not another special lying around here. Don't think there is. There's definitely one in that one just before them. So the guys are very specific where they spawn, as I said before. I should probably go low actually, so because the ones giving me trouble are coming out low. Yeah, that guy's giving me trouble. Ah, yes, well, as I stay low, they don't start throwing their grenades. Right, oh. So stay low and then go high. Okay, I've got lots of time. I don't need to rush anything like I was before. I don't have much extra health though, that's the downside. I need to preserve my bullets. Oh, he was a grenade thrower. Oh, nice. Right, can I finish this stage? So we're getting near the exit again. Don't think there's a special. I've got 15 bullets for this next coming firefight bit. Oh! Rage! That was a proper raging moment. And my cry of frustration. So close yet so far. Okay, I think 2 hours of Rolling Thunder is enough. I need to practice a bit more to get it down. I think we've had a lot of people like this stream. I'm wondering if there is demand for me actually to do a full long play of the game. Thank you for all the likes, guys. Very much appreciated it. This has been Rolling Thunder 2. I think I'm going to wrap up here rather than go again. It's getting near midnight tonight in the UK, and I should really finish. So if you are interested, I have put up a new write-up on our blog about the Hertz issue on PS1, which I think is quite an interesting read. And we were actually asking if anyone knows the people involved with the Import Light Player, which is actually a very interesting device because it could be used to force power gains in 60 Hertz, which is really helpful, but it wasn't the most developed software, so I think it's got a lot of bugs in it, and I think if we ironed out those bugs you'd get much better compatibility. So it's a very good read. I actually put a link to it in the community page, and it's on the Randomised Gaming blog, although I should actually include a link in the description. I think there's one in the YouTube description. If not, it's on the community page. So thanks for everyone watching. I'm going to wrap up here. This has been Rolling Thunder 2. Definitely, I think some people would probably like to see a full long play, I'm guessing, basically. We've had quite a lot of people watch this stream. So thank you all, everyone who's been on stream. Thank you very much. I'm going to wrap it up here, actually. This has been Rolling Thunder 2. Very good Mega Drive game. So good to see Chick 2 Bone's suggestion for it. It's actually been a few years since I played through it, so not quite as good as I once was. Although nearly getting there. It's just a case of learning the routes on every stage and learning when and where. You'll notice it's one of those, like Riz said, one of those rigid games where you have to pick up where the enemies spawn and how to avoid them, and like on the lift if you do in the right order. But hopefully you've all enjoyed this stream. So with that from me, thanks to Chick. Glad to see you've stayed with me for the full session. I'm going to say good night, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. I have been your host for this randomised gaming video, Random Game Riven. As always, hit that like button. And if you do like this channel, randomised gaming channel content, please do subscribe and keep an eye on our contact. I do hope you all enjoy it. We want to go for 4,000 subs, and I guess we'll see how long it takes to get there. Well, thanks everyone. I'll wrap it up there. I don't think I probably should actually look at playing that a bit more again at some point. But thank you all. I'm going to wrap it up there. Good night everyone from Random Game Riven. I'll see you all tomorrow, as we've got 2 streams again tomorrow. I will do another Dead by Daylight stream. Look at the Google Stadia crowds. We've quite a few people who quite like that stuff, although I wasn't overly enamoured with the game, I have to admit. And we'll be doing a fight night. I think we're going to be looking at a 32x fighting game. I think we were looking at Cosmic Carnage to do that this week, because there's not really a huge number of fighting games on the Mega Drive unless we did something. I did have a brief look at Eternal Champions, but A, Eternal Champions is rubbish, and B, the PAL version's optimised. Yeah, no worries. I should actually should do a bit more practicing to go through and just practice to actually finish it again, because it's been a while since I've done both playthroughs. You have to finish this game twice as well, which is quite cheeky, but it's quite nice the second run through, as they did change like the time of day and everything. But that's been Rolling Thunder 2. We've looked at the PAL version in today's stream, and it was said it's Region 3 on my Japanese NTSC Mega Drive. So it's one of those games that literally just have a Japanese Mega Drive and plug it in, which is really helpful. So very, very helpful to play. So that's it from me. Good night everyone. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will be back for another stream tomorrow.